Hello, investors. Welcome to the channel where I use technical analysis to find possible swing trades. Before beginning, I'd like to make it clear I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I say here is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. The technical indicators, like those I use, are not accurate 100% of the time. Company fundamentals and macroeconomic factors can drive share price changes differently than we'd expect based on technical indicators. My goal is to bring these companies to your attention so you can decide for yourself whether or not they're good investments for you. So if you plan on investing, do your own due diligence before purchasing shares in any company, or consult with a financial advisor. And with that said, today we are taking a look at a possible buying opportunity in HighPeak Energy Incorporated, ticker symbol HPK. As you might guess from the name of the company, it is in the energy sector, oil and gas consumable fuels. This is a micro-cap company, the market value of around $1.5 billion. It's based in the United States, in West Texas and Eastern New Mexico. And here we are on HighPeak's annual chart. You'll see the share price is low. It is not at its absolute low for a 52-week low, but it's certainly well below where it has spent the majority of the last year. It's right in between the 20 and the 50 moving averages, below the 100 and 200. This isn't the best starting position I've ever seen for a possible swing trade, but it's certainly worth looking at, especially given some other factors I'll get to in a minute. If we look at the RSI, it is essentially right smack in the middle of the chart. Although it does appear to be moving down, it's bounced around enough that we can't really tell where it's going unless you have a crystal ball, in which case I'd like to use that for a bit. The stochastics are close to overbought. As you can see, they are definitely high on the chart, as we know from other companies, of course. Could remain overbought for quite some time before coming back into the middle or moving to oversold. And if we go down to the volume chart, you'll see that there is a spike of volume lately. Now, I need to point out that there was a public stock offering on this recently. In fact, just on the 21st, on Friday. This giant spike in volume is before that public offering. So people were trying to get in on it beforehand. And that remained for the next day. And finally, we have the public offering day, which shows slightly above average volume, but it's selling volume. You'll notice that in the recent days, last week, there's more red days than green days. And the MACD looks like it is falling, although this is a rather shallow decline, but it certainly looks to me like it is pulling back towards zero. So you might ask yourself why I would look at this company for a swing trade when it's not set up perfectly according to these technical indicators. Well, there are other factors to consider. So what you see here on your screen is a screenshot I took from OpenInsider.com, which is a website that tracks all insider buying of publicly traded companies. You'll notice there is a lot of insider buying here on the 21st. This is the day the public stock offering ended. And I mean, look at this. You have one purchaser bought almost $69 million worth of shares. You have another at almost 12 million, almost 10 million, over 1.3 million, and several others. Now, keep in mind, these are only insiders. This doesn't count people who don't work for HighPeak buying shares. So all this insider buying reminds me of something Peter Lynch famously said, which is there are a multitude of reasons people sell shares, right? They could want to buy a house. They could be getting divorced. They could have to pay for college. There's any number of reasons why they have to sell shares, but there's only one reason why they buy shares. That's because they think the value of those shares will increase. So if we switch here over to E-Trade and take a look at the fundamentals of the company from a very broad perspective, we can see a bit of what the value of the company may be. One thing I'll point out here is this is significant short interest, almost 28% short interest. So this is a certain, it's certainly ripe for a short squeeze at that high a percentage. So keep that in mind. This could force the shares up quickly. And if we look over at the debt to equity ratio, it indicates that it is average debt for oil and gas exploration. Now, these numbers to me look low. They are small just in the grand scheme of things. If this is average for oil and gas exploration, then that's great. They don't carry a lot of debt in general. We look down at the PE ratio, then the company is at a PE of 5.38. It is lower than 82% of other companies in oil and gas exploration. So it's well below, significantly below the industry average value. But then we look at the other metrics. The gross margin is higher than 98% of other companies in the industry. The operating margin is higher than 98% of other companies in the industry. Move down the return on equity. It is higher than 84% of other companies in the industry. The growth rate is greater than 94% of others in the industry. These are all outstanding metrics. So this is a company that can really produce and yet is being valued well below the industry standard. And if you're looking for a dividend is extremely low at 0.74%. Of course, the payout ratio is less than 4%, so that could be one of the most secure dividends I've ever seen. It's certainly possible they could increase that dividend. Anyhow, these numbers make me think that HighPeak is performing well. The insiders are buying, the numbers are holding up, but the share price has been driven way down by macroeconomic events. And one final thing I'll take a look at here for HighPeak is this screenshot I have from Seeking Alpha. Now, I do not pay for the advanced version of Seeking Alpha, but I still find it to be an excellent overall look at different companies just for diversity. And if you look down here in the lower left corner, one thing you see is their analysts provide an estimated fair value or return on each company. And this one is, I think, the highest estimated return I've ever seen. It indicates it's undervalued, and they estimate a 125% return from this company. If you look over here, the chart events again indicate it is bullish at the moment, and the performance outlook for the short term is upward. That is 2 to 6 weeks, but midterm and long term are apparently negative in their estimation. So just one final bit of info to consider when you're possibly considering buying HighPeak. The fundamentals of the company still, in spite of the misses, they remain strong, well above the market average. So consider all those things and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm curious to hear. And if you got something out of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit the like button and subscribe to help out the channel. If you enjoy these brief overviews I do of possible swing trades, please leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. Even if that comment is negative, I would still appreciate it. Or if you'd like me to take a look at a specific company using the indicators I present here, mention that in the comment section, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and good luck with all your investments.